Hey guys, how's it going? It's BobbyKBikes here, and welcome to another BobbyKBikes video. Now today is a very special day. It's my birthday. I'm 23, and what better way to celebrate than by rebuilding a 70s Dutch folding bike. I have a rule, or I'm trying to have a rule anyway, that I don't take a bike to bits until I've put a few other bikes back together, because then you end up with too many bikes in bits. Now the arena's pretty much done, so I think we can start taking the Tomos to bits now. A few days ago, my dad and I got into the back wheel. I was all for giving up and taking it to the bike shop, but my dad hates giving up more than I do, and so we managed to get part of the rear hub, we managed to get the rear hub open and disassembled. We've cleaned a few bits up and we're hoping to get it back together again today and hope that it works better than it did before. And in the meantime I've been doing a bit of polishing as well. I've not polished the rear mudguards because I was going to leave that for when I was filming. I was sort of experimenting with the front mudguards and we've got it looking really nice. I think I'll maybe start with the front end today. I rebuilt the front hub about 6 years ago and I haven't really used the bike that much, so it should be okay, but I have a feeling it was maybe short of a bearing in one side, so we'll maybe take it to bits and redo it just to make sure we've got enough bearings in there, and we can always put some spare bearings in. And it actually turns pretty nicely, the steering. It's pretty good for something that's probably never been rebuilt, but we'll rebuild it anyway so that we can have it running really nicely. So I think there's maybe just a little bit of play in that headset, so it needs to be rebuilt. So we'll start at the front end, work our way back. Anyway, I'll show you what I've done in a little more detail. Okay, here's the hub apart. Now it was a very complicated system because there's a set of bearings for the wheel to spin on, and there's also a set of bearings for the brake mechanism, and all the little bits that engage and whatnot. So there's the shell of the hub, and there's the spindle with part of the brake mechanism still attached. It's cleaning up quite nicely. We've got a few bits soaking in isopropyl alcohol and scrubbed a few things. I polished up the sprocket. It's not perfect, maybe repeat application, another round of polishing would bring it up quite nicely. The coaster arm, it had some rust spots and I just wiped it over with Diet Cola and tin foil, and it's cleaned up pretty nicely. And so is this, so it's coming up nicely. I don't want it to look mint condition because it's a rat bike, but I want to have a few things looking nice. Here's our unpolished rear mudguard. Well, you'll notice that I've got it on a mag just so I can wheel it around. It looks better on camera than it does in real life. Actually, okay, now you can see a bit more clearly. This is pretty nasty, all this oxidation and whatnot. So that's the one that I left unpolished to show you guys. And here at the front we've done some polishing. We didn't polish down near the bottom because again I want to show you a comparison. Now up here has had a bit of polishing, and at the front is where I've done the most polishing. It's really been repeat application that I've done it several times to bring it up. Doing one round of polishing down here would make it look nicer, but maybe not as nice as at the top. Giving it 2 rounds of polishing will give you this, and then up here I think it's had about 4 rounds of polishing, so I can tell already we're going to go through a lot of polish in this project, but it's going to be worth it to have the mudguards looking like that. I'm now going to turn my attention to these front brakes. Almost certainly going to have to replace those blocks. Those are really worn. But if I can, I'll try and reuse these nuts, because They're rather nice, I think. There we are, 10mm. It's definitely on there, no doubt about that. There we go. So we'll put these blocks to one side and keep the nuts on there. Actually, it doesn't. Some brake blocks you can change the rubbers in. Some of them don't have a metal thing on both sides, and that's so you can slide the rubber out and replace it. But then that means there's a right and a wrong side to put the brake block in, because if you have it in the wrong way around and brake, your rubber's going to go shooting out. Okay, I'm going to shine these calipers up. The front brakes have always been pretty good on this bike, so I'm probably not going to rebuild the calipers. I'm not really keen on caliper rebuilds. I mean, I've been doing bikes since I was about 13, sort of more involved maintenance, but I can never, well, I can't always rebuild calipers right. Sometimes they don't work as well as they did before, but let's do it. The way you conquer your fears is by facing them. Huh. That wasn't on very tightly. Good thing I decided to rebuild them. Oh, now is that a washer or is that just some sheared metal? Either way, we'll put it there. And disengage that. Yeah, this is all stuck on there. Now this is quite a nice system. It's a lot less parts than the calipers on, say, the Rally 20. Okay guys, that's about all we've got time for at the minute. We made a good wee bit of progress. Got the front end disassembled, got the chain off. The chain was pretty stiff. There were a lot of stiff links, and of course I happened to try and extract one of the stiffest rivets, well, the rivet from one of the stiffest links, but it's off and it's not damaged, so I've got it in some WD-40 at the minute. Couldn't get the rear mudguard off because there's a bolt here that needs a screwdriver and it's pretty seized up. Same with the bolt for the kickstand, so that's posing a bit of a problem at the minute, but we'll see. We'll get it. We always do. The front mudguard's cleaned up beautifully. Let me just show you. Look at that. Very nice. And there's still sort of marks from the oxidation, so we've not totally ruined the rat look. It's kind of shiny rat, so I'm happy. And it's a big improvement on the rear mudguard. So once we get the rear mudguard off, we might, well, we'll clean it. I'm not sure. It might be easier to do most of the cleaning in situ, so I might I'll put a wheel back on just so that I can clean the mudguard in situ, because you can see it wobbles, but when it's all bolted in and with a wheel in there, it's a lot more steady, a lot more stiff, so it's easier to clean. hopefully soon we'll get into this bottom bracket, get that rebuilt, get all that cleaned up. Front brake caliper also cleaned up nicely, and we've got it all back together, as you can see. So, it's been a good day's work. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, please follow me on Twitter, like the Facebook page, follow me on Instagram, all that good stuff, and I will see you in the next video. Tatty bye.